My last job was working for a company based out of Michigan. I was the director of training for a company that did outsourced sales in the food service industry. And so I was doing training on consultative selling for our internal sales reps. I was doing speaking for some of our partners and customers. I worked for a guy named John who was brilliant, very strategic, and he kind of pioneered a way to make money for the company that he would trade my speaking and training abilities to some of our customers. Hey, Jeff Joyner will come speak at your franchisee meeting or speak at your national conference in exchange for buying products from our company. And so I'd go give a couple hours of my time and ability in exchange for $1 million sale. And so I was making good money for the company. They paid me well. I loved this job, right? My boss owned the company. He respected me, saw the value in what I did. I got to work from my home here in Cincinnati, good six-figure income. It was awesome. I really liked that job. And then my boss sold his company. I got the message that he's selling the company, he's retiring. And he worked in kind of a 12-state regional market, and he sold to a national company. So the new owners come in, and I thought, well, maybe they'll make me the director of training nationally for the company. That is not what happened. They hired this other guy named Pete. Now, Pete, I'd seen do some speaking and training before. He was not very good. He was arrogant, ineffective. He didn't know anything about our industry, but he acted like he knew everything about everything. This like cheesy grin, these brown teeth, and he was just nobody that I knew liked this guy. But they hired him to be my new boss. Well, okay, I can get along with anybody. I got good people skills. So on his first day, he says, hey, before he even started, hey, Jeff, on my first day, could you drive to Chicago? I'd like to meet with you. Hey, that's cool. I can drive up there and meet with the new boss. So I drive 5 hours, and we have a conversation that did not go well. He proceeds to light into me about how terrible I am, how what I do is worthless. He's never seen me speak or do any training. Never really had a conversation with me, but he just ripping into me. What you do is worthless. He's like, Jeff, you're a bleep motivational speaker, and companies don't need that. That adds zero value. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's not zero value. I've been, kind of making a lot of money for zero value. This little annoying little, Grinch of a grin, and it was bad. It's a bad conversation, right? Tempers were flaring. I was upset. Didn't really know what to do. I was nervous, right? Because this is my full-time job, right? I got young kids. I got a family I need to take care of. So I left there, and he said, well, we'll see. We'll give it a couple of weeks, and we'll kind of see how things go. But I knew I did not have a bright future there. So I started thinking, I might have to find another company to work for. Well, a couple weeks go by, and I kept doing what I do, and then he said, hey, I get a message that from my boss and his boss that we need to have a conference call on Friday at 9 a.m. Wow. I think we all know what that conference call is going to be. They're going to cut me out. Oh, by the way, I found out later that they hired this guy to be my boss, but they were paying him less than they were paying me. That's why he's getting rid of me right there. That's fact. Not going to manage somebody who makes more money than he makes. And so I'm like, well, probably going to get fired on Friday. On Thursday, I was doing some training for one of our partners. It was a company called Super Bakery. And Super Bakery was started by NFL Hall of Famer Franco Harris. And after Franco got out of playing in the NFL, him and his college roommate, Lydell Mitchell, who they both went to Penn State. I think they were drafted 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. They both had successful NFL careers. Franco's career probably, was a little bit more well recognized because he played for, the Super Bowl champion, Pittsburgh Steelers. I was doing some training for his company on Thursday, and I was like, all right, man. And I was having dinner with Franco and some of the people at his company on Wednesday night up in Cleveland. So I thought, hey, you know what? Franco's always been complimentary about what I do. I'm going to see if I can get him to give me a little endorsement. Maybe this will help me find a job at another company. And he's given me some things in the past. I got a cool little NFL football here that Franco signed. Best wishes, Franco Harris, number 32. That's pretty cool. He also gave me this little autograph picture, and I don't know if you can read it on here, but it says, Jeff, thanks for the development of our team. And so he always talks about how I've done things to help his team succeed. And so I said, boy, if I could just get him to say that on video, I can use that as part of my job search. So I go up to Cleveland and we're having dinner, and it's a great conversation. Dinner's over, things are winding down, and I decided to spring it on him. I said, hey, Franco, I got a question for you. I said, you always talk about, what a good job I've done, and I've really added value for your company and helped you guys move the needle. And he's like, oh, you're the best, Jeff. You've really, really, you've blown me away with, your ability and how you can add value to an organization. I said, it's so great to hear you say that. I said, would you be willing to make a little video clips, just like a minute, talking about that, something that I can use to help grow my business, just like a little video endorsement. And everyone at the table goes like quiet, and Franco looks at me like, and that's when it dawns on me, this guy's a celebrity. They got a Franco Harris statue at the airport. He did one of the most famous plays in NFL history, if you've ever seen the Immaculate reception. So Franco basically caught this ball that bounced off somebody right before it hit the ground, ran it in for a touchdown. It's called the Immaculate reception. It's one of the greatest plays of all time. And literally, if you fly to Pittsburgh, they have a statue of Franco Harris catching that ball at the airport. This is a famous dude. He has an agent. He charges money for endorsements. Oh, what an awkward moment. And I was like, and I didn't really know what to say. I couldn't take it back. And he was like, and right then the server comes up with a cake. It was somebody's birthday at the table. They're like, happy birthday. And the subject changed, and whew, and I was like, oh, that was so awkward. I'm such an idiot. And so then it's time to, dinner's over, and the hotel is, 6 or 7 blocks away. And it was kind of cold out, but Franco said, hey, I'm going to walk back and, get some fresh air. And I said, hey, I'm going to walk back with Franco. So me and Franco Harris are walking back to the hotel, and we're kind of bundled up for the cold. And I said, I got to try to say something. I got to try to make this right. I said, hey, Franco, sorry about that awkward moment with the endorsement request. I get why you don't want to do that. I said, but I don't know if you know or not, but our company has new ownership. He goes, yeah, that's what I heard. And I said, and it's looking like they're going to fire me. And he's like, why would they fire you? You're the best thing they got going to that company. I'm like, hey, you don't have to convince me. But the new ownership does not see the value in me being there. He's like, that's ridiculous. I said, yeah, I think, the new ownership, the new management team is saying, why does a company like us need a motivational speaker like Jeff Joyner? And Franco stops right in the street, and I stop, and he grabs my coat, and he pulls me in. I thought he was going to punch me. He's a big guy. He pulls me in, he looks at me, and he goes, you're asking the wrong question, young man. Franco's kind of a soft-spoken guy. I've never even seen him act like this. And I was like, okay. He looks at me and he goes, the question shouldn't be, why does a company like that need a speaker like you? The question you should be asking is, why does a speaker like you need a company like that at all? And he lets me go. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, Jeff, you're great at what you do. You got an awesome reputation. Why don't you work for yourself? I work for myself. You don't see me working a job for somebody else. I have my own business. I control my own destiny. You should do the same thing. Start your own company. Quit putting yourself in a position where somebody else can fire you and take your income away. And he turns and he walks down the street. And I'm like, huh. I go back to the hotel and I call my wife and I said, all right, I know this is going to sound weird, but I think God just spoke to me through Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, Franco Harris just grabbed me and got in my face and told me that I should be going to business for myself, stop working for these companies. And she said, I think you should do the same thing. I'm like, really? I mean, it's risky. Okay. So that was on Wednesday night. I'm like, I'm really thinking about it. So Thursday I do the training. We did a thing on negotiation skills. It went great. People were laughing. They were learning. Everybody had a great time. And I'm getting ready to pack up my stuff. And Franco and I are the last two people in the room as I'm putting away, the computer and the projector and all that stuff. And Franco says, hey, you still want that endorsement? And I said, I'd love an endorsement. He goes, did you bring a video camera? I said, yep, just in case. Pull out this high-def video camera I got. And he goes, what do you want me to say? I go, whatever you want to say. And so I roll it, and he made a little video endorsing my training for his company. And you can find it on my website at jeffjoyner.com, but I'll show it right here. Here's the video that Franco made for me.
Hello, I'm Franco Harris, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Playing football, motivation is very, very important at crucial times. And when you run a business, motivation and training is very, very important. And so that's why I want to thank Jeff Joyner for coming and visiting us and giving us some training and motivation that has really made a difference to our company, and it definitely will make a difference to yours.
So Franco Harris made that video for me. And he got down, he goes, well, I don't know if that's going to really influence anybody. I don't know if anybody cares what I think. I said, oh, lots of people care what you think, Franco. Extremely successful in college and in the NFL, like one of the hardest endeavors ever. You played at the very highest level. Now you've gone on to be a very successful business person. Trust me, that's going to matter. He didn't charge me anything for that. It gave me a totally free endorsement. And it's really kind of helped me. And so, I drive home that night, and Friday morning, go to call on for the conference call on my company cell phone. It's like, doo-doo-doo, your phone's been shut off. Well, that's not a good sign. And sure enough, they let me go effective immediately. You don't work here anymore. And it was right over there sitting at my desk where this happened. And my wife and I, we just kind of held hands and said, you know what, let's do it. Let's start our own company. And we held hands and we prayed and we put it in God's hands, right? Because he's our source anyway. And that was the day that Jeff Joyner Training was born. And it's grown and grown just through word of mouth marketing. I've made over $1 million now doing paid speaking for companies and conferences and organizations. And sometimes I look at how well it's gone. I think back of old little Peter and his brown tooth grin telling me that I had zero value. And I'll tell you, here's the lesson in it. When I had that conversation with him, where my new boss was telling me literally that I was worthless. It's one of the lowest days I've had in my life. But you know what? Looking back on it, it's one of the best things that could ever happen to me. Right? I'm really glad I'm not still working for that company or any company. And I'm thankful for Franco Harris, who was willing to speak truth into my life. Whether that was God speaking through Franco or just Franco and his wisdom, I don't know, and I don't care. But I'm thankful for the people I've had throughout my whole life that have been able to speak truth to me and help guide me on the path toward my dreams and goals. I hope you have some people like that in your life. I doubt it's going to be Franco Harris, but find somebody who's got success and credibility, and maybe see if they got some advice to help you move forward in your career. That's a good way to head toward an epic life.